Hi, Morten, and welcome to the show.
Hi Jonas, thanks for having me here again.
It's great to have you again. So, Morten, I was recently approached by one of our larger customers, and they were a bit concerned about the Microsoft 365 license usage.
Right, yeah, that's
As
a huge challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we know now that Microsoft has announced that there will be price adjustments now twice a year. So this particular customer was concerned about the license usage and if they were over licensed.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
that could be licenses that were attached to disabled users or maybe inactive users, but they also said that they suspect that some of the users did not utilize all the licenses.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that would
so they
be
thought
a
in many ways.
that would be a terrible waste of money. So it's a good idea to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so they would like to know if they were over licensed or not, and if they were over licensed, they will like to do something about it.
Right.
So so how can I help that customer?
Well, fortunately, we just released a new feature in EasyEntra, a reporting feature, and that includes some insights into licensing. So I'd be happy to demo it for you, Jonas, and you can see if it's maybe something you can use to help your customer save some of those very heavy license expenses. So let me just fire up my
Yeah.
environment here and let's have a look. All right, Jonas, I'm here on my Windows 11 PC. I have EasyEntra installed. I'm connected already with my domain and my tenant. You can see I have my 80 structure, OU structure here. I have all my accounts, hybrid accounts. I can do full management of all settings. In EasyEntra, you also find on the left-hand side here, you find the Entra ID section where you have a direct look into the cloud. So you can see all your cloud users, not only the synchronized ones, but also the cloud only. You can do pure cloud management in EasyEntra. And the latest addition we have here is the reports section, where you have the ability to spin up report templates. And based on these templates, you can run your reports anytime quite easily without having to do a lot of PowerShell scripting. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to create a new report template, and in the report template here, I'm going to select a type of a report that I want to run. So we have a couple of categories here. Currently, we have some reports for licenses, some for insights into mailboxes, and we are going to continue to expand on this. But in the licenses section, we have currently 3 different types that you can run. One to identify disabled users with Microsoft 365 subscriptions, so I heard you mention that. We also have the inactive users report, where you can identify users that are inactive, not necessarily disabled, but not showing any activity in terms of logging into your systems. And then we have the final one here, unused licenses, and these are users that may or may not be disabled or inactive, but what we see from this report are users that don't show activity in the subscription workloads. So specifically in Exchange Online, OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint Online, Yammer, and Skype for Business, these users that come out of this report, they haven't shown activity in whatever time period you select here. So I think let's try and take it from the top and try to have a look at disabled users that have licenses assigned, because we don't want that. That'll be a complete waste of money. So you can change the name of the report here. I'm just gonna leave it with that. Click next. Here you have the scope of the report template, so you can define if you want to look into a specific department or a specific country. And the country, it looks into both the country attribute of the user, but it also looks into the usage location. Any match found here, it's gonna end up in the report. Also want to mention that you can put in both the 2 character country code, so like US, or you can put in United States, so that's fine. When you hit create here, you now have created the report template, and in order to see an actual report, you have to run the template. I'm going to do that, and depending on your environment, that decides how long time this will take, but this type of report usually is quite fast. So it took around 0 seconds to run it, and we have identified 2 accounts that match our filter. And let's have a look at that. So what we see in this report is that 2 users are currently disabled, and they have licenses assigned. So this is
Yeah.
probably something you want to change.
So this is very easy to go and collect those those licenses and use them for
Yes,
something else.
yes, definitely. Quite easy. It's not,
I,
in our experience, it's not really, you not really do a lot of findings in this area, but because most companies, they have it in their offboarding procedure to remove the licenses. And if you're using EasyEntra, that's actually one of the options that you can automate. But perhaps you will be able to find something here, and it's a good thing to handle that.
so I could do it from here, directly from here, remove the licenses.
You can do that. It's an we call it an actionable report, so you can actually do something with this report. So for one thing, you can select the information and copy it into either Excel or Notepad or whatever. So you can copy paste the information here, but you can also actually go directly into user properties, have a look at what's going on here. And for a disabled account, so you probably don't want the licenses assigned, you can simply remove them immediately. Or if it's a group assigned license, remove the group membership for this user. And another thing here is that you can do it in bulk if you want. So I'm just going to open up both users here, and you can do it for all of them in one go here. So quite easy to take care of that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So the report here, it's saved. So of course, if you open it again, you will still have the users in the report. But to make life easier for you, if you have a huge report with a lot of users in it, then as you move along and fix the problems, you can actually remove the users from the report. And in this case, you end up with a blank report. So yeah, that's quite easy to handle here.
Very good.
So let's take a look at another report. So I'm gonna create another template here, and this time let's select the inactive users. This means users that haven't signed in to Entra ID for a specific time period, but at the same time having licenses, potentially costly licenses assigned. So again, I'm gonna click next here. You can select the department or the country that you want to look into. And for this report type here, you can also select the inactivity period. So default 3 months, but you can select any of the periods here. Let's go with 3 months, and again we have created now the report template. In order to get some actual results, we'll have to run it. I'm gonna do that, and this one will take a little bit longer, again depending on the size of your environment. It's fortunately running in the background, so if you need to do other stuff meanwhile, you can go and do some work in EasyEntra and just leave it hanging in the background here. And there you go. You have completed the report. It took a little less than a minute. I have plus 10,000 users in my environment, so if you have a smaller environment, it's going to be faster than that. We've identified 11 items, and let's have a look at the report. And what you see here is the users that didn't show any activity for the selected 3 months. And in my test environment here, I have a couple of accounts that never signed in. You might also have maybe various service accounts or applications with licenses assigned that have never signed in but actually need the license. But you can see pretty clearly what's going on here, and we have a couple of real users here that didn't log in for a substantial amount of time, and you probably want to look into that. So what you can do with this information is you can either contact the user, contact the manager of the user, or if you have the knowledge that someone left the company, you can immediately go and take action. Probably you want to disable the account if the user's left, or you want to offboard them, and then of course remove the license so they can be recycled.
Oh, very cool. So let's say I want to look at certain attributes, for example, users in a specific department.
Right. With these reports, if you have like thousands of items, then it's quite easy to filter out the ones you want to look at. So you can do a general search, like if we want to see all users that have research in their department name. You can simply type in research, and it's going to narrow down as you type, making it very fast to navigate this information. It will also, this search, it will look at all the attributes. You may have users that fit the filter in another attribute than department, and in that case you need to be more specific. So what you can also do is that you can select which attribute you want to look into. For example, you want to see the users that only have research in the department attribute. So if you had any users with research in other places, such as in the username or whatever, then they would be filtered out with this search.
Yeah.
Also, you can do fast typing here because you don't have any other columns starting with DEP. You can simply write DEP for department. So it's very fast to navigate, and you can combine these searches. So if you want the users based in Denmark, you can type in country equals Denmark, and you'll have narrowed it down even further.
Oh, that's a very strong report.
Yeah, thanks. It's quite easy to, once you have the information, you can do a lot of stuff with these easy search functionalities. So let's go and have a look at maybe the last licensing report that we have currently.
Yes.
So the final one here, unused licenses. This will look into reporting aggregated reporting data in your tenant that shows in an activity in Exchange Online, OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint, Yammer, and Skype. So it doesn't really matter if users have signed in to Entra ID, if they're disabled or not. This type of report looks entirely on the usage of the specific licenses. So this could potentially give you the same results as you saw in the previous reports, but it could also add additional users that you didn't identify with the other reports.
So this is actual users that have a license assigned, but this report shows if they're using the applications or not.
Yes, exactly.
Is that correct? Understood?
Yes. So it only looks at these specific licenses, the core Microsoft 365 workloads. It doesn't look into like Power BI or Dynamics or anything like that. But if the users have other licenses assigned and are not showing activity in these licenses, then you might want to look into if they have any activity in the other more expensive licenses perhaps. So let's go and take a look at this report. Again, you can select the inactivity period. I'm going to go with 3 months, create the report template, and in order to get some results, I'm going to run the template to get a report. Again, depending on your environment, it may take some time. I have these plus 10,000 users. I don't have a lot of licenses assigned in my test environment, so it's quite fast to run this. And,
so just to get this right, so from this report, I can see what users are having licenses assigned. Maybe they are active, maybe they're not, but I can actually see if they have been logging into, let's say, Exchange, Outlook,
yes,
or Teams, anything like that.
Yes.
So they could be active, but just not using the license.
Exactly.
The license in total and full. Yeah.
Yes. This report will show you the last time they showed any activity in any of these core workloads.
Okay.
So let's have a look.
So I could actually see if any of these users were actually using the license in full, and if they're not, I could probably downgrade them to a smaller license.
Yes.
And then save some costs on that behalf.
That would definitely be ideal. Yes. So either remove the licenses, or if they only need like specific items in the license, you can downgrade them. So when we look at this report, you can see that it has more users than the last one. So we have actually a couple of users that have shown activity in Entra ID the last 3 months, logged in, used systems for whatever purposes they do, but they have not used any of the core Microsoft licenses, so they end up in this report. So in this column, the last core workload license use, you can see some of them have dates that go further back than the 3 months we selected, and a lot of them have actually never ever used the license. So probably you want to get rid of those licenses immediately.
Yes, amazing, great. That was a very nice report, Morten. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
But what if I want to check out specific licenses like Dynamics or Power BI or Visio or something like that? Is that possible?
Definitely, that's possible, Jonas. We'll need another to look into another environment than my test environment here, where I only have a couple of licenses. So let's look at a real live environment here and try to do some more specific searches into the licensing information. All right, Jonas, as you see on this tenant, you have a lot of different licenses assigned, and for some of the users, you have actually multiple licenses assigned. So to get some more insights in that, you can do specific searches in the licenses column here. So that all depends on what type of information you're looking for.
Okay, I know that Dynamics licenses are very expensive, so I would like to see all users that has a Dynamics license assigned.
Right, yeah. So use the search, the column specific search function. So type in LIC for license, short for license, and then DYN, short for Dynamics, and there you have your information. So that's super fast to see it. And these users, most of them have various licenses assigned, but this in the search result it will of course show you what you're actually looking for here.
Okay, so I could also narrow this down to visual licenses.
You could do that, so we'll just modify your search here and you immediately have the result. You can select these users, copy them, paste them to Outlook, paste them to Excel, paste them to Notepad or whatever to share the information with maybe a manager or whatever.
Okay, and then also for Power BI.
For Power BI, you can easily find those licenses and get a look at that. Right. So you have your Power BI licenses here.
Okay, that's very neat. Very cool. So let's try something a bit more difficult. So I want to see account-enabled users with an E5 license.
Right. So we start by locating the accounts that are enabled. So and then for licenses, you want to see E5. Here you have it. So
okay,
whatever you want, E5, E3 licenses, exchange licenses, you can just start typing, and the report will modify the output immediately when you type.
Yeah. So this actually indicates that the account is enabled, but there has been no activity on these workloads.
Exactly. Yes. So
and therefore this might indicate that the license is not being used at all.
Definitely, yes. So these users that come up in this search result, enabled users, probably working, and for the licenses, you can see that the last time anybody used Exchange, Teams, or the other of the core workloads have not been using those since like 2021, 2022. So definitely a very quick cost saving there.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's really good. So let's say I have some users which are prefixed with the ext
right. So
naming convention, because those are external consultants.
Yeah. Right.
This company, and these are usually forgotten in offboarding procedures.
Yeah. Exactly.
Etc. So if I want to look specific at those types of user accounts.
Yep. So if you know that either the user principal name or the display name starts with ext, you can simply put in that information, and that's going to narrow down your list to only list your external consultants, as you can see in this search result. So as you can see immediately here, you have actually some licenses tied up with a lot of these users that have come out in the report as not having licenses assigned but not using them. And again, if you want to narrow it down, you want to see it who has E1, who has E3, who has just standard Exchange Online licenses assigned. You can very easily get that information and take some action. So maybe you know directly if these external users are doing work, or maybe you need to contact the manager or whoever knows that, and yeah, simply get rid of these licenses and possibly also disable the users. If they're not logging in, you'd have to use another report to identify that.
Perfect. This is very good.
Great.
All right, Morten, thank you for that demo. It was very, very good, and I think I can use it with a lot of different clients of mine. So
Yeah,
that's perfect.
great. Try it out, Jonas.
So,
We have a 30-day trial, so you just download it, install it, connect with your client's tenant, and then you have 30 days to run all the reports that you want. You hand it over to the client, and hopefully that'll give you a happy client. And yeah, the tool is free for 30 days, so it's also a good way to kick in the door for new clients.
so this report functionality is included in the 30-day free trial?
Definitely, yes. EasyEntra, all functionality is available for the 30 days, so you can kick it around. You can try to experience the value that you get out of the product with no limitations. So yeah, everything's fully functional.
Thank you, Morten. I will definitely try that out.
Great.
Thank you for your time once again.
Sure. Nice meeting you again, Jonas.
Nice meeting you.
Bye
See you.
bye.